In the upcoming weeks, these beautiful Wasatch Mountains will be covered in snow. And on this football weekend in September, Romney Stadium will be covered in a whiteout. It's a cross-country showdown as the Mountain West plays host to the ACC next on the CBS Sports Network. Tonight's game is being presented by Geico, and a great matchup here tonight. Wake Forest out of the ACC, traveling west and traveling to altitude as they take on Utah State out of the Mountain West. It is the third whiteout in school history, and the fans and the students are ready to go as they try to make it 2-1 on whiteout nights. Hi, everybody. Not only a great matchup here in Logan, Utah, but an opportunity to welcome a newcomer to our CBS family. And you remember him from his days at the University of Nebraska. He is the 2001 Heisman Trophy winner. He ran for 59 rushing TDs in his career and 3,400 career rushing yards. Eric Crouch joins us. Eric, it's great to have you as part of the family.
I'm excited to be part of the CBS Sports Network. Excited to watch a game with you tonight.
Yeah, it should be a great matchup. Utah State, the expectations are always high here in Logan, and that's fueled by Chucky Keaton. He's been great at quarterback.
Yeah, he sure has. And if you're somewhat wondering why his passing statistics haven't quite been there, his completion percentage, well, don't be worried. We had a meeting with Coach Matt Wells yesterday, and what he told us is that Chucky Keaton is an unselfish player. He's going to do what it takes to win the football game. One of the things he's done that's unselfish, they've asked him to throw the football away when he's being almost sacked. Throw the football away when your receivers aren't there. And that's one of the things that's going to make him a successful player, is being unselfish.
Well, Keaton and the Aggies are going to get a good look at the third youngest team in the FBS, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They're young. They've got a new coach in Dave Clausen who came over from Bowling Green, but they've got a pretty good freshman quarterback as well.
They do. John Wolford. What sticks out to me is that he broke Tim Tebow's Florida record of 95 passing touchdowns. He blew it out. He has 126 touchdown passes himself. Also holds the state record for total passing yards. The coaches love his moxie. They love his strong arm, and he is a pure football player. Maybe undersized, but a pure athlete. Now let's take it down to our third member of the team, Cassie Gallo. Cassie, what's happening down on the field?
Hey guys, here with head coach Matt Wells. Coach, shooting it to you straight, what are you looking for early on from your team?
Well, fast start. You know, we need to come out and play clean and efficient right out of the gate, be able to establish the defense in the running game right out of the gate.
Quarterback Chucky Keaton came back from the season-ending injury. What has his progression been like, and what are you expecting from him?
It's been good. He's had his best week of practice this week, so hopefully he plays his best.
Good luck, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
What a scene here in Logan, Utah. The weather simply spectacular here tonight on the Front Range of the Wasatch Mountains. It was down to 38 degrees this morning. At kick, it'll be 83. Light wind, perfect day for football, and the temperature is expected to drop into the mid-50s by the second half and into the fourth quarter. A whiteout. We mentioned it earlier, the fact that Utah State 1-1, Eric Crouch in whiteouts, and their fans are out in force here today.
Yeah, they sure are. We're looking for a really exciting game. I'm thinking that this is going to be definitely a throwing game today. We're going to see a lot of footballs in the air, a lot of excitement, a lot of opportunity for some young guys to really claim their positions here today.
Wake Forest is young. 70.5% of their roster, either freshmen or sophomores. Only Pittsburgh and Penn State are younger. So we are set to go here. As Utah State won the toss, they will defer, and Wake Forest will get the ball.
Well, an opportunity for a young quarterback making only his third start. We're talking about John Wolford. Kind of wonder what he feels when he goes on the road. Did he get enough sleep last night? Is he a little bit anxious for the game? We'll find out here.
Yeah, Jake Thompson's going to squib it. Flag on the play as it rolls out of bounds, and so Wake Forest is going to get some pretty good field position here to begin the game. Wake Forest coming off a win against Gardner-Webb last week.
Well, early in this game, I think the coach here, Warren Ruggiero, the offensive coordinator, has got to do a good job of getting John Wolford comfortable. Quick passes, easy reads, things that he knows he can get to try to get some momentum early with this football team.
Well, we'll see what happens here. First play from scrimmage for Wake Forest. and their young quarterback. John Wolford in the shotgun. We'll see how this Wake Forest offensive line holds up here today in Logan. Quick toss over the middle, and that'll be good for about 4 yards as the tackle is made by Brian Sweet. Starting lineups here courtesy of Chick-fil-A, and a good look at John Wolford. Second and 6. In the flat, and he finds his receiver, Jared Crump, and he's close to a first down, and I think he's got it, Eric.
Right, a couple of quick passes here to start this game off, and that's exactly what we said here at the beginning, just to get him comfortable with his receivers, reading the defense, and getting into the flow of this football game.
Wake Forest going hurry up. Good look there at the wide receiver, Matt James. Throwing again to the Demon Deacons, and that ball was deflected. And so it'll be second down. Let's take a look at the defense here for Utah State. A little bit younger than in years past.
Yeah, they sure are.
3 starting DBs and a nickel.
Right, and Zach Vigil, he's the one that really sticks out to me. Number 53, the inside linebacker, runs very well, physical at the point of contact, and he's the vocal leader of this defense. So watch him as he wrecks havoc with this offense today.
Second and 10 for Wolford and the Demon Deacons. Good field position at their own 45. In behind, Orville Reynolds, and he'll lose about 3 yards. Tackle made on the play by Zach Vigil.
One thing they're going to have to do right here, you see Zach Vigil right off the edge right there. He's the one that disturbed this play, and they're trying to do a zone read right there, trying to get something going in the running game as well.
Wolford steps up, nearly picked off. That goes incomplete, and so Wake Forest will have to punt away.
Looks like just some miscommunication there with the young quarterback and some of his young receivers out there, but I like seeing him take a shot a little bit down the field. You know, we're used to seeing right here in this first drive 3 5-yard passes. This one was deeper than 10. It's encouraging. They just have to come up with completions.
JoJo Natson deep for Utah State as he awaits Alex Kittle's punt. First punt of the day for the Demon Deacons. And it's a high punt and a fair catch made by JoJo Watson. He bobbled the ball, but it looks like Utah State will come up with it, and they'll start at about their own 19-yard line. Let's take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And the quarterback, and we've talked a lot about him, Chucky Keaton.
Right, they've got a pretty solid offense right now, except the offensive line's a little bit young, so we'll be watching that very closely. There's a leader on the offensive line, Kevin Winfrey, very commanding, a professional approach that he takes, and he is the vocal leader of that offense.
So Keaton on his first series from the line of scrimmage here this afternoon. And he'll throw it to the outside, caught that time by Hunter Sharp, as he's taken out by Merrill Noel. The offensive lineup here for the Utah State Aggies.
Right, we had a chance already to mention Winfrey. He is a huge, important part to this offensive line as far as leadership. These men on the offensive line follow his lead.
Second and short here for the Aggies. Keaton again looking to throw, and he's got a man in the flat. That's JoJo Natson, and he's got a first down as he brings it out to the 35-yard line. Noel again that time on the stop for Wake Forest as we take a look at their defense.
And we point out Kevin Johnson, the cornerback, huge ability to change directions on a dime. Quick feet, live feet, rangy, strong. He's really going to be all over those receivers on the outside today.
Rollout, Keaton has a man open, but that ball in and out of the hands of Devon Patterson, freshman wide receiver out of Orlando. One of the things we talked about too, Eric, as this game goes on is you know, Utah State, if they can get long series against Wake Forest, they're playing at altitude, and coaching staff for Wake Forest didn't make a big deal out of that this week, but the altitude here is about 4,500 feet. You wonder if that'll play a factor as this game moves on.
Right, they try not to make a big deal out of it until it actually hurts the team.
Hunter Sharp on an end around, and he'll pick up about 6 or 7 yards before he's cranked down by Brandon Chubb.
That was a nice play right there, just getting to the outside and picking up some extra yards, and some good blocking by the linemen and downfield by his receivers as well.
Well, early on, Chucky Keaton distributing the ball very well on this opening drive, and a 3rd and 4 here for the Aggies. Be a huge lift here for a young Wake Forest team if they can stop them defensively. Wake Forest 3 and out on their first possession. In the slot is Hunter Sharp over the top. He's got the ball, but he's slammed down that time by Ryan Jambian. And let's see, is he going to have enough for the first down? It looks like he will. I thought he was a little bit short there.
Yeah, and he just read the eyes of Chucky Keaton. He just put his foot in the ground and came up and was ready to make a big hit right here. Chucky Keaton's eyes were right there on the crosser. He knew he was coming right into the zone right there. Hunter Sharp maybe should have settled that down a little bit to take some of that impact off from the hit.
1st and 10 for the Aggies as they look to move towards the Demon Deacons end of the field here. And ball placed on the 45. And a handoff. In the backfield, Joe Hill, nowhere to go. Credit a big play that time defensively by that front set of Wake Forest.
Right, and this is what Wake Forest is really wanting to do right here, is they're going to try to get some pressure up the field. They know the offensive line is young. They're trying to give them some different looks, maybe confuse them in communicating up there. There was some confusion on the offensive line of who was picking up the block there.
Loss of 6, Brandon Chubb. He's been all over it early, and he had great numbers against Monroe just a couple of weeks ago for the Demon Deacons. Keaton out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Looking around. It looks like a face masking penalty coming up here. Now they're going to get Duke Ejiofor on the face mask, and so Utah State gets a bit of a break there.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 53 defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and it is first down.
An automatic first down there by penalty error.
Right, Ejiofor just catching the edge right here on the outside. You'll see him come around, beating his guy, using his hands, and then just gets his hands wrapped up in the face mask here. You're getting another view right in there.
Now we get a whistle here and a stoppage of play. By the way, the officials today are the crew out of the Mountain West. As Chucky Keaton on that last play really had to scramble. He didn't have anybody open, but the penalty gives the Aggies the automatic first down and places the ball inside Wake Forest territory.
Right, well, you give credit to the secondary there for Wake Forest for not biting on the play action. I mean, early in the game, you have a little bit of edge to try to make an interception or make a play or bat a ball down. Credit to their ability to be patient and sit back there and make the correct reads.
Handoff to Rashad Hall, tries to bring it up the middle. He'll get about 4.
Number 20, Rashad Hall.
Rashad Hall, a junior out of Lynchburg, Virginia, as he's taken down by Markel Lee.
Markel Lee.
And so 2nd and manageable here for the Aggies.
Gain of 4 seconds.
It's getting physical out there right there. Kevin Johnson, we talked about his ability to wreak havoc with the receivers, and they're already getting after each other already.
And the corners at Wake Forest, the coaching staff, when we talked to them in our meetings last night, very high on them. Chucky Keaton looking to go long. The ball that time was intended for Hunter Sharp, and we're going to get some flags on the play. So looks like pass interference coming here against Wake Forest. And that'll bring the ball further down the field as Wake Forest continues to get hurt by penalties.
Right, and he really didn't even need to do that. He already had over-the-top positioning right there, number 7, Noel.
15-yard penalty, first down.
So already, by my count, 30 yards in penalties on this drive.
And it looks like to me they were just fighting for position. I don't really know if that's a pass interference call. I don't believe it is.
So inside the Wake Forest 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Aggies. No score early tonight on CBS Sports Network. That's caught out in the flat that time by Ronald Butler. And so the Aggies driving deep inside Wake Forest territory here early.
And one of the things I liked about this play is that the offensive coordinator making calls, moving the line of scrimmage. They're all going to the right, rolling out Chucky Keaton, changing the angle of the throws, and a nice just pass and catch for a really nice pickup about 7 yards.
Offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern, he's also the quarterback's coach here at Utah State. Handoff into the backfield that time, and Rashad Hall is taken down by Marquel Lee. So that'll bring up a 3rd down situation here for the Aggies.
But when you get misdirection like that, you're supposed to be tricking the linebackers. Marquel Lee not tricked at all on that play.
Yeah, the Wake Forest interior defensive front early on against the run has been pretty good.
Yeah, they certainly have. If you look at what we're talking about as a storyline in this game, the offensive line being young, they had to replace 3 offensive linemen.
Timeout here called by Dave Clausen and Wake Forest. So the Aggies are driving. You're watching college football on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome back. No score, but Utah State driving. They've got the ball inside the 25 of Wake Forest. It's 3rd and long, and you wonder, Eric Crouch, is this maybe 2-down territory?
Well, I think absolutely. If they get about a yard or 2 from that 1st down marker, the speed of what this offense is about, the style to mixing it up with the runs and the outside quick throws, no doubt in my mind they go for it.
Well, Matt Wells comes out 3 wide to the left, and Chucky Keaton has the lone setback in Rashad Hall. Running game hasn't done much so far for the Aggies. Passing game has been effective. Keaton back to throw over the middle, and he's got his man there. That's Wyatt Houston, the tight end, knocked down by Kevin Johnson. So that'll be a 1st down. Chucky Keaton so far on this drive, 5 for 6. As the Aggies bring it inside the red zone, brought to you by Verizon.
If they're going to mix this up, getting the tight end involved is key for this offense.
Empty backfield for Chucky Keaton. He's going to lock one to the corner of the end zone. Well, they're going to come down with it that time. Rashad Hall, a little bit of bumping going on in the corner of the end zone, but that'll bring up 2nd down.
What they tried to do is they just tried to isolate Rashad Hall right there, number 20 on the outside. Empty formation means nobody's in the backfield. It's really easy to declare what type of coverage they're going to have. Are they going to cover you in man? Or are they going to cover you in zone? You get your running back out there, and they followed him out there. No, they had man. He took a shot.
Rashad Hall out of Lynchburg, Virginia, to give him another shot here. He's in the backfield right now with JoJo Natson. And Natson in a Wildcat will take the draw. And Keaton set up, and Natson goes nowhere. Taken down that time by Zachary Allen. So that interior of Wake Forest is getting the job done.
They sure are. What a nice job by Zach Allen, number 35, just kind of staying right in position, forcing that back inside where his help is at. Very smart heads-up play, making sure that things go back inside.
Utah State 2 for 2 on this drive on 3rd down. So now we get a whistle here and a timeout called by Matt Wells.
Utah State.
We'll step out. Utah State knocking on the door. The opening quarter here from Logan. Third down situation for head coach Matt Wells and the Aggies as they've got the ball on the 13-yard line of the Demon Deacons. Aggies have won 13 out of their last 15 games. Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator upstairs for Wake Forest. And they've been pretty good on rush defense here early today in Logan.
Safety blitz, middle of the field might be open.
Yeah, they're chasing Chucky Keaton. Has to get rid of it. It's picked off. And this is going to be returned for a touchdown. Racing down the field is Josh Banks, and he's going to go all the way for a Demon Deacons touchdown. So similar to what they did 2 weeks ago in Monroe. And they get a defensive touchdown, and the Deacons are out in front. 75-yard interception return.
And that's just making a poor decision and throwing the football. And if you want to throw the football away, throw it down in the ground. You see Chucky Keaton, but the pressure's too much right in his face. Number 8 right there, Marquel Lee, who's been in the backfield all night, comes untouched. And that's where the poor decision from Chucky Keaton comes into play.
Josh Banks, the redshirt sophomore, goes all the way. Extra point is on the way, and it is good. A 2-touchdown underdog. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons strike again defensively, and they are shocking the whiteout crowd here in Logan, Utah.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And by Verizon. Get NFL Mobile included with the More Everything plan, exclusively from Verizon.
Welcome back to the banks of the Wasatch Mountains. A 3rd and 13 for Utah State. Goes bad in a hurry. Josh Banks, 75 yards on the interception and touchdown return.
Take a look right here. These two offensive linemen, the guard and the tackle, 75, Fisi Lau and Simonic. They are supposed to go in the running back right here. You see him. He's supposed to take the end man. These guys are supposed to block down. See what happens on this play. Miscommunication. That doesn't happen. The guard misses his block completely. Like we talked about, when you're a quarterback, pressure in your face, that situation, get the ball down to the ground, take the sack, don't make an errant throw.
Chucky Keaton, 2 interceptions last season in the shortened season due to the injury, already with 4 here today. Garrettson and Butler are deep right now for Utah State. And what a start here for the Demon Deacons on the road at altitude in Logan, Utah. And this will be returnable. Back through the 30-yard line and finally taken down that time. Williams. Eric, let's take a look at your keys to the game here with Wake Forest out in front.
Right, Wake Forest Demon Deacons right here. You see the receivers must win the one-on-one battles. They have to create some turnovers, which they've already done, and they capitalized on it by getting points. For Utah State, Keaton has to use his legs and his arms. I believe now he's got to get into some rhythm, maybe using his legs, slide in the pocket, and this offensive line has got to change what they're doing and take control of this game if the defensive line from Wake Forest is going to continue to overpower them.
Well, the veteran Chucky Keaton in the shotgun. 5 wide for Utah State. That one nearly picked off. All over at that time, Marquel Lee. And so it'll be 2nd and long. And don't forget, Chucky Keaton, injured last year in that BYU game. He didn't step back on the field for Utah State until about a month ago. So he's still kicking off that rust.
Yeah, he definitely is. And you can tell right now by throwing the interception, just being a little bit behind on throws and maybe throwing off his back foot a little bit, not trusting himself. A little bit of that could be from that knee injury as well.
Keaton did not play in spring ball, and he wasn't ready to go until about the middle of August. End around here, and this will go for a big gainer and out of bounds that time. JoJo Natson, he stepped out back at about the 48-yard line of the Aggies. And he can go, he can fly. If you get him on the outside, look out with the speed.
Right, when you have speed and then they have a great block on the outside by number 83, the tight end, Wyatt Houston, that allows you to get a few extra yards as well. So speed and good blocks, there's the result.
Big gainer for the Aggies in good field position after the 16-yard scamper by Natson. Keaton will hand it off, and now he takes it himself. Looked like he was going to hand it off that time, but he kept it before he was taken down by Zachary Allen. And again, not a lot for Utah State in the middle against this Demon Deacon defense.
Right, and I'm not surprised that they just don't hand that ball off right there and really slow the interior rush of this Wake Forest defensive line down. Let them get to the outside, let them go with speed. That way these defenders don't just come up the field so hard, they hang back. That will open up the passing game a little bit.
Utah State spreads the field 5 wide. Keaton quick, it's a drop, and that one nearly picked off. All over that one was Anthony Wooding. Let's go downstairs. Cassie Gallo.
Guys, after that interception, obviously a lot of players disappointed, but head coach Matt Wells walked up the sideline telling his players that turnover was on him. Don't worry about it, no big deal. He walked over to Chucky Keaton, said a few words, gave him a hug. So coach trying to keep his guys focused and their spirits up.
Well, certainly a shocking development here, because a lot of people thought a young Wake Forest team in here might go down in a hurry, but they have had their defense spring to the occasion on that 75-yard interception return for a touchdown. Keaton back to throw. He's got a wide open receiver, but coming across to make a beautiful play that time defensively was number 26, Thomas Brown.
Take a look at Chucky Keaton stepping up in the pocket and firing one. Had a step on him right there, the receiver, but a tremendous job of just using his athletic ability and vision to see where that ball was and just knack for the ball to break that pass up.
Jaron Bentrude back to punt for Utah State. He lets this one go. It's going to roll inside the 5-yard line, picked up. And the Demon Deacons are down at the 2-yard line. Kennedy Williams with the tackle there. So the Demon Deacons with a 7-0 lead thanks to their defense early in this ball game. They'll have the ball deep in their own territory. All the points provided defensively. Wake Forest getting an interception return for a touchdown. Inside the huddle is freshman quarterback John Wolford. We've made a big deal about the quarterbacks in this game tonight, Eric. And John Wolford has had good numbers. He's maybe had a little bit of bad luck as well early on.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a quarterback here and you're having interceptions that are really not your fault, tip balls, linemen not taking care of business on the defensive line, getting guys' hands down. You know, those are the things that you as a leader can take control of. You can go to your offensive line and tell them, hey, you know what, I need those defensive guys' hands down. Go hit them. Go knock them low and try to get their hands down. Or vice versa, guys, make a better move on the guy and get more open.
And guess what? You talk about a challenge for a freshman quarterback. His own 3rd-yard line on the road. Let's see what he can do. Demon Deacons with a 7-0 lead, and will hand it off. More there for Orville Reynolds to go. He might have gotten a yard. And that'll bring up 2nd and long. Seaflot that time on the hit.
What they're trying to do is buy a little bit of room right now, and they're just not getting it. But you know, you do what you're good at, and right now they're good at the dink and dunk passing game. You know, spread guys out.
Is that where you go?
Yeah, don't be afraid that you're on the goal line. Believe in yourself, believe in your offense, believe in your arm of your freshman quarterback, and stay with it.
Ball on the 2. Wolford rolling out, looking upfield. That one over the head of the intended receiver there. It'll bring up 3rd and long, but a nice rollout. Good poise that time out of the young quarterback.
Right, you see right here, he sells the fake right here. You're going to see the play action coming across here. Good sell. The linebackers bite on it. He uses his speed to get to the outside. The only thing that I could say here is that ball needs to be low and away, not high and uncatchable. Give your receiver a chance to bring that ball in. That would have been a very big play for them.
Jared Crump and E.J. Scott, both wide receivers into the game for the Demon Deacons. Wolford from his own end zone. Quick drop. Has a man. Matt James. And he brings it out. Does he have a first down? You better believe it. Critical 3rd down conversion. Daniel Gray with a tackle. The Demon Deacons get a first down and move the chains.
And it looks like that Utah State secondary is really respecting the size of these receivers, playing a little bit off, making it easy for Wolford to make those throws. And then you have Matt James, who's 220 pounds, and just falls forward for a first down.
So Wake Forest now on that 13-yard completion with a little bit of breathing room that time. This tackle is made by Zach Vigil in the backfield.
Number 53.
Vigil's been all over it early on here today at Romney Stadium. Beautiful place.
Right here on this play, you saw the motion come in, but very nice speed and acceleration to the hole by Nick Vigil to make this tackle. And really, if they would have had a replay on it, he should have pulled that, would have had a lot of room on the outside.
2nd and 11, ball on the 14. In the flat, this one's caught. Jared Crump. He breaks free and he's got a first down. Taken out of bounds by Jalen Davis that time.
We talked at keys of the game here. They need to win the one-on-one matchups at the receiver. You got a 6'3", 200-pound receiver in Jared Crump. You got a 6'3" receiver in Jonathan Williams. You have 6'5". You know, these guys are big receivers, and right now they're winning those one-on-one battles.
Matt Wells, when we talked to him in our meetings last night at the hotel, they were a little worried, himself and the coordinator on offense, as we're going to sprint this time by Wolford to the sidelines, and he's pushed out of bounds. And he might have picked up 2 yards. They were a little worried about the size and the length of those wideouts for Wake Forest.
Yeah, they sure are, and you can tell that, you know, the size of the receivers makes a big difference in play calling. I'm surprised right now that they didn't have to go downfield already with a deep shot to let these defensive backs play so far off. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Utah State defense creep up a little bit closer towards that line and play a little bit more man coverage.
2nd and 7. Passing situation. Picked off. The other way it goes. Into the end zone. Zach Vigil. Touchdown. 2 interceptions in the ball game. Return for touchdowns. And Utah State an extra point away from tying it here in Logan.
We thought we were going to see the show from the offenses. We're seeing the show from the defenses right now.
Well, the freshman quarterback makes his mistake. Zach Vigil takes it 40 yards on the return. The extra point is on its way, and it is good. How about the defense is stepping up here this afternoon and this evening in Logan. Zach Vigil's been in on just about every play, it seems, and that time he goes 40 yards to tie the game.
If you see, watch his eyes right here. You'll see Wolford's eyes. Cover 2, zone, the safety's dropped. He looked left the whole entire time. Zach Vigil just read the eyes of the quarterback. Threw in double coverage right there. Here you see it again. His eyes are left the whole entire time. He threw a little bit behind him as well. That ball needs to get out in front of that receiver a little bit to give his receiver a chance to catch that ball. And Zach Vigil, his athletic ability, they said in the meetings yesterday when we talked to him, he can pretty much play any position on offense as well.
2nd career interception, 1st touchdown.
Right here you see these safeties are going to drop out of here. You've got cover 2 coming. Middle of the field is open. I wouldn't be surprised if they came back here. If Zach Vigil is going to be close biting on these routes, if they come back with a little out and go to the middle of the field, they'll have a nice play set up. We'll see if they can make those adjustments.
Thomas Brown is deep. This ball is going to go into the end zone. And so Wake Forest takes the knee, and they'll get the ball back on offense. So it'll be interesting. You know, we've had some drama here with both quarterbacks. Chucky Keaton threw the interception for the touchdown, and now you've got the youngster, John Wolford, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. Great numbers in high school. How does he respond, Aaron?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is exactly what you want. I mean, this is a learning opportunity for this coaching staff. Dave Clausen, it's learning opportunity for John Wolford, the quarterback, to be able to go through adversity, throw an interception, and then come back and drive your team down the field, do something great, do something magical where your team can bounce back and really start to change the momentum of this game.
Some of those numbers eclipsing the numbers put up by Tim Tebow. We'll get back to that in a little bit as Wolford at the line of scrimmage here as the Demon Deacons begin this drive on the 25. That ball is tipped and newly picked off. Nick Vigil had an opportunity there. Well, these are the numbers we're talking about. You know, you look at the numbers put up by Tim Tebow, and some of these numbers by Wolford, he eclipsed Tim Tebow's
Certainly
marks.
did. Here's that number right there, passing touchdowns. Well, that's the one that really sticks out. Tim Tebow, 95. John Wolford, 126. And they go along with 1,300 yards, 13,000 yards.
Maybe he's a young Eric Crouch.
He's way better than I am. He's got throwing yards. I never had those.
You had over 3,400 rushing yards. Stopped that time and an incomplete pass, and so that'll bring up 3rd and long for Wake Forest. What do you think here? It's an obvious passing situation, but who do you go to?
Well, I think you go to a big man. I think you go to somebody like Jared Crump, 88. You go to number 2, Matt James, try to get a mismatch. Looks like they're going to bring something here from the field. Number 37's on the line, showing it. Vigil's been a back out. Looks like they're going to do a zone drop, which is confusing for linemen.
Dropping back is Vigil under pressure, and he's going to go down. Taken down by Torrey Green. 3 and out for the Demon Deacons, and the wideout loving it here in Logan.
We talked about that zone blitz. That can be confusing for linemen to know who's coming. Defensive lines, they take a step forward, then they drop out into coverage. You have a young offensive line. Sometimes those are very hard things to pick up with the speed of this game.
JoJo Nance in the single player deep for Utah State here on the Wake Forest punt. He's going to wave for a fair catch, and the ball will be down right at about the 35-yard line. Well, next Thursday, your football week starts here when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tangle with the Atlanta Falcons. Join Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wolfson as big-time matchups go primetime. It's Thursday Night Football on NFL Network and CBS. NFC South standings in Carolina and Atlanta off to good starts. Don't forget, Matt Ryan, he now has a healthy receiver core back in the fold for the Falcons. Should be a great one on CBS. So Chucky Keaton in the offense for Utah State back out. Nearly picked off but completed. All the way back towards the first down marker. 8-yard gain on the play there, so maybe Chucky Keaton will get rolling here.
Well, number 7 there is Morel Noel, and he was jumping that ball. Let's see if they come back with some double moves here later.
Hand off Joe Hill, ball on the ground. And Wake Forest comes up with it. Wake Forest ball. And they'll take over at the Utah State 45. Oh, and the defense becoming the show here for the Demon Deacons.
Well, when you don't run the ball very much, you do want to be effective in your running game. You have to protect the football. Right there when he saw defenders coming around him, still only holding the ball with one arm. Here's an opportunity to take that left arm, put it on the ball, protect it. You know that your team has an opportunity to go down the field and put points on the board. This is a big, big mistake for the Utah State offense. And again, here's an opportunity for Wake Forest now in their own territory, in Utah State territory, excuse me, to put some more points on the board.
That fumble forced by the linebacker, Thomas Brown. John Wolford back out on the field with that offense for the Demon Deacons. And that goes nowhere, probably a loss of 1 on the play. Zach Vigil in on the tackle once again for Utah State.
Yeah, and Utah State's moving around a little bit more on defense before the snap of the ball. They're trying to confuse the quarterback, John Wolford, trying to make different looks or show different looks. And right now, with young receivers, young linemen, you can tell that it is confusing for them.
2nd and 11.
See right there, they go ahead, they show like they're going to come up in the line, and they drop out and start talking. Now they're changing the defense. He changed the play.
Isaiah Robinson in the backfield right now for Wake Forest. He's a freshman out of Charlotte. And a penalty flag here, too much time, and that'll back him up 5 yards.
That,
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Maybe the nerves there out of the freshman quarterback.
yeah, you're right. And Looks like they were playing a little game of cat and mouse, trying to change the play, change the defense, then change the play again, then change the defense. And it just, time ran out. You have to, as a quarterback, as a young guy, you need to know where these clocks are. There's one on both sides of the fields in the corners of the end zones, and that ought to be one of the things you're looking at every single time you come up to the line.
Empty backfield for Wake Forest on 2nd and 16. Wolford has time this time. He goes over the middle, finds a receiver, but that ball incomplete. Utah State thought that it was a forced fumble, but incomplete, broken up by Nick Vigil. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. You wonder here if maybe Wake just tries to air it out.
Right, they talked about John Wolford and being an accurate thrower. Right there, he really squeezed that one in there. Sidestepped the pocket, was able to get it in there, and I tell you what, they like that about him. They like that he's not afraid to squeeze the ball in some tight areas and make plays.
Do you bring heat if you're the Aggies?
Well, right now you're 3rd and 16. I don't think they bring heat. I don't think they've challenged him down the field long enough.
Play is being reviewed. Whether or not this was a catch and a fumble. Boy, it looked like he took about a step before that ball popped free, and another angle here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a catch. I think they made the right call in the field.
Did not come all the way down.
Well, it looked like the ball kind of slipped through his arms. He didn't have complete possession of the football. Right here, he had his hands kind of cradled, but he didn't quite have the ball. I don't know if we can back that up and show you here, right?
Incomplete pass.
You'll see it very nicely on this angle right here. He jumps down, but the ball's just kind of bobbling around. I think they made the right call. I'd be surprised if they overturned this one.
Great look from our men and women today down in the trunk. So that is confirmed incomplete pass, which brings up 3rd and long for Wake Forest. 2 wide with Isaiah Robinson in the backfield. Passing situation here for the Demon Deacons. They're going to go conservative, and they give it to Robinson, and he's gang tackled for a loss. Devin centers the first of 4 in there for the Aggies of Utah State.
I take that back. They sold the farm on that one. They brought everybody there from the close side of the field, which is the short side of the field. Didn't have the greatest play called. Just going to hand the ball off, and there's too many guys, not enough blockers in that situation.
So that'll bring up a 4th and 20, and that ends our first quarter. Oh, we've seen great defensive gems on both sides. Wake Forest with a long run back. Same for the Aggies of Utah State here on CBS Sports Network.